$141,500. Take a good look at that number. It seems huge, right? Almost unbelievable. But guess what? That wasn't for some massive new home addition or a fancy kitchen.
That's the real question, isn't it? The author of the playbook we're breaking down, Bushra, she hired a contractor for what she thought was a pretty standard $30,000 bathroom job. But by the time the ink was dry on the contract, it had ballooned to over 140 grand. And the crazy part? The contractor wasn't pushy. He didn't use any cheap sales tricks. He just followed a system. And that's the system we're going to unpack right now.
And here it is. This is what we're explaining today. The Contractor's Closing Playbook. The promise is right there in the title, and it's a big one. A 9-step system that can help you close 30% more jobs, and you don't have to slash your prices to do it.
Now, here's something you gotta get straight from the start. Success in this game isn't about being the smoothest talker or having some secret sales pitch. It's all about consistency. It's about process. The folks at the top, the ones closing deals left and right, they just do the same things in the same order every single time. And today, you're getting a look inside that exact system.
So, we've broken it down into 4 key phases. First up, we'll cover how to basically win the job before you even set foot in their house. Then, how to present your proposal like a seasoned pro, not just another guy with a number. After that, we'll tackle how to handle those objections you always hear. And last, but definitely not least, we'll get into where the real money is made, the follow-up. All right, let's dive right into part 1, winning before you arrive. See, most contractors think the sales process starts when they knock on the client's door. The pros, they know it starts long before that. Look, before you even say hello, your reputation is already doing the talking for you. Homeowners are definitely Googling you, they're scrolling through reviews. So what are they finding? A sharp website, a bunch of 5-star reviews, and professional photos. That stuff builds instant trust. So when you finally pull up in a branded truck wearing a clean company shirt, you're not introducing yourself, you're just confirming what they already believe, that you're a pro. And this isn't just fluff, you know? There's real data here. The playbook talks about a client who made just one change. He got his truck professionally wrapped. And the result? His closing rate shot up by 18%. That is a massive return on investment, all from just looking the part before he even walked up to the door. Now, the next piece of this pre-arrival strategy is all about qualifying your leads. This is about protecting your most valuable asset, your time, right? You just can't afford to be driving all over town giving free quotes to tire kickers or people who can't actually afford your work. A few smart questions on that first phone call can save you literal hours of wasted time. This line from the playbook, it's pure gold. By saying this, you're professionally setting the stage. This is a serious meeting about design and, more importantly, investment. You're also completely sidestepping that classic stall tactic. I need to talk to my spouse. You just make sure all the decision makers are there from the get-go. Okay, so you've already built trust before you arrived, and now you're in their living room. It's time for part 2, presenting like a pro. All right, pay close attention here because this is critical. Most contractors show up and immediately start talking about themselves and their company. The pros, they start by asking questions to figure out the client's real motivation. Why now? That uncovers their urgency. What happens if you don't do this? That digs up their real pain point. And what would a perfect outcome look like? That helps you see their dream, not just what they asked for on the surface. Now, this strategy right here, this is how that $30,000 bathroom turned into a $141,000 project. You never ever present just one price. You give them 2 options. Option 1 is the basic version. It's exactly what they asked for. Safe. But option 2, that's the complete vision. That's the one that includes all those dreams and goals you just uncovered with your questions. You're not just upselling, you're showing them what's truly possible. And you'd be surprised how many people, when they see their dream laid out, find a way to make it happen. Here's a super simple but really powerful psychological trick. Just stop using the words cost or price. A cost is something you lose. An investment, on the other hand, is something that provides a return. You're working on their home, right? It's their biggest asset. So yeah, it's an investment. And just framing it that way elevates the entire conversation. But of course, even if you nail the presentation, you're still gonna get pushback. And that brings us to part 3, handling objections. The key here is to stop seeing objections as rejection and start seeing them as a request for more information. Ah, the big one. It's too expensive.
Every contractor has heard it a million times. It feels like hitting a brick wall, doesn't it? But it's not a dead end. It's actually an opening. They're just telling you there's a gap between the number they see and the value they're feeling. Your job is to close that gap. So the key is, don't get defensive. You start with empathy. I get it. Then you ask a simple question to understand where they're coming from. And then you pivot. You pivot from price right back to value. You walk them through everything your investment includes, the quality materials, the solid warranty, the proper permits, all the stuff that cheaper quotes conveniently leave out. And here's the other classic you'll hear all the time. This one can feel like they're just price shopping. But again, if you handle it right, it's a huge opportunity to position yourself as the expert in the room.
The perfect response is to just agree with them. That makes total sense. See? You're not fighting them. You're on their team. Then you educate them. You teach them how to compare quotes apples to apples. This builds incredible trust, makes them feel empowered, and makes you the obvious choice over the other guys who just emailed a number with no context.
Okay, we're at the final and maybe the most neglected section of them all, the fortune in the follow-up. This is where most contractors completely drop the ball, and it's where you can absolutely crush your competition.
Just look at that number. You can close an additional 20 to 30% of the jobs you quote simply by having a consistent follow-up system. Just take a second and think about what that would do for your business this year. This isn't about finding more leads. It's about closing more of the ones you already have.
And here's what that system looks like. It's not random. It's a professional, structured sequence. A quick text on day 2, a helpful, no-pressure call on day 5, an email on day 14 that creates a little urgency around your schedule, and a final, professional note on day 21. While your competition is sitting around waiting for the phone to ring, you are professionally and persistently staying top of mind.
Let's wrap this up with this quote from the playbook's author because it just sums everything up perfectly. The difference between an average contractor and a top-earning one, it's not about being smarter. It's not about talent. It's discipline. It's having a system for every single part of the process and then sticking to it no matter what. So we've walked through the whole playbook, from building your reputation before you even show up to presenting like a pro, handling objections like a champ, and following up until you win the job. The top pros, they're not doing anything magical. They just follow a system. So the only question left is, which one of these steps are you going to start with first?